You ever hear a story that sticks with you, not because it's true, but because you wish it was? There's one I've carried for years, a story that smells of salt water and rotting wood, a story the sea itself seems to whisper if you listen on the wrong kind of night. It begins with a ship, the Carroll A Deering. A five-masted schooner, proud as a queen, her red sails billowing against the Atlantic wind. She left port in 1920 with a crew that laughed too loud, drank too hard, and as some said, didn't belong together. Now ships vanish all the time, swallowed by storms, dragged to the deep by bad luck and worse decisions. But the Deering, she came back. She came back without a single soul aboard. They found her grounded on Diamond Shoals off the coast of North Carolina, an empty carcass of a vessel. The wheel was smashed. The lifeboats were gone. The captain's log was missing. Food still lay in the galley, as if the men had simply stood up mid-meal and walked away. And here's the part that chills my bones even now. There were footprints, dozens of them, leading not away from the ship, but circling it, as if something or someone had walked around her, watching. As the Deering pushed northward, storms rolled in the kind that made even seasoned sailors cross themselves. Waves slammed the hull, the wind screamed through the rigging. And yet, in the middle of one of these tempests, the lookout swore he saw a man standing on the bowsprit, arms outstretched, facing the sea. Only, the ship's entire crew was accounted for. Every living man's was behind him. Nights grew longer, the food tasted wrong. Men refused to go below deck alone. The captain, William Merritt, kept a diary. Not the logbook, mind you, a private journal. In it, he wrote of hearing heavy boots on the deck above while he slept, boots that paced for hours. He wrote of finding salt water in his quarters, though no hatch or window had been opened. And once, in his cramped handwriting, just one chilling line: "There's something else aboard." Then, one morning, the captain was gone. They said he fell overboard. But the first mate swore he'd seen him standing at the rail in the dead of night, talking to someone who wasn't there. By the time the Deering neared Cape Hatteras, she was barely holding together. The new captain, a man nobody seemed to trust, ordered a sudden change of course. Witnesses from another vessel later claimed they saw the crew moving strangely, almost mechanically. Not tired, not sick. Just empty. On the night of January 28, 1921, the ship passed the Cape Lookout lightship. The keeper of the lightship said a man hailed them, not the captain, not the first mate, but a stranger, wild-eyed, asking for a tow to shore. The keeper offered help. The stranger refused. Then, under the moonlight, the Deering turned and sailed into the dark. 2 days later, she was found, driven into the shoals. Her sails were torn to ribbons. Every lifeboat gone. Every man vanished. And yet, the galley fire was still warm. Bread still on the counter. A pot of coffee cooling on the stove. They searched for weeks. No sign of the crew. No lifeboats ever found. The ocean gave nothing back. Some say it was pirates. Some say mutiny. Some, in whispers, talk about the Bermuda Triangle. But the old-timers on the Carolina coast, they have another story. They say there's something out there, something that boards ships in the night. It doesn't take gold. It doesn't take cargo. It takes men. And sometimes, on fog-heavy nights, they say you can see her again. The Carroll A Deering. Drifting. Her sails hanging like torn shrouds. A shadow on her deck that turns. And waves.